Do you have a gas stove? Now, I'll tell y'all. I do. Well, guess what? Finally, the government is going to do something good. Or maybe they'll back out at the last minute. A U.S. federal agency is considering a ban on gas stoves. This would be an amazing move. This would be a brilliant move. This would be a great move. And it should happen sooner than later. Gas stoves are a thing of the past. They're garbage. Now, again, a lot of people, they like gas stoves because it heats up faster. But there's new kinds of electric stoves that heat up even faster than fire does. So I'm just throwing that out there. A federal agency is considering a ban on gas stoves, a source of indoor pollution linked to childhood asthma. In an interview with Bloomberg, a U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commissioner said gas stove usage is a hidden hazard. If you have a gas stove, which I do, I recommend opening the window every time you cook, even in the wintertime. Hey, I do it. Put on a jacket, open up the window. Trust me. Any option is on the table. Products that can't be made safe can be banned. Agency Commissioner Richard Trumka Jr. told Bloomberg. The report said the agency plans to take action to address the indoor pollution caused by stoves. Now, I will say the only proper way to do this is with a government buyback and replace program. That's the only way to do it. Buy back from the government, and then they give you an adequate replacement. The CPSC has been considering action on gas stoves for months. Trumka recommended in October that the CPSC seek public comment on the hazards associated with gas stoves. The pollutants have been linked to asthma and worsening respiratory conditions. Once again, there's a pandemic going on. And what are these diseases that we're talking about in the triple-demic target? Your respiratory system. A December 22 study in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health found that indoor gas stove usage is associated with an increased risk of current asthma among children. The study also found that 13% of current childhood asthma in the U.S. is attributable to gas stove use. Trumka told Bloomberg that agency plans to open public comments on gas stove hazards. Option besides a ban includes setting standards on emissions from the appliances. 35% of households in the United States use a gas stove, and the number approaches 70% in some states like California and New Jersey. You would think that California would not have that kind of gas stove, usage, you'd think, right? Because, it's California, but hey. Other studies have found that these stoves emit significant levels of nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, and fine particulate matter, which without proper ventilation can raise the levels of indoor concentration levels to unsafe levels as deemed by the EPA. So once again, my opinion, if you have a gas stove, which I do, open your window every time you cook. It should just be a habit. Open the window, turn the fan on, cook your shit, leave the window open a little longer. Short-term exposure to NO2 is linked to worsening asthma in children, and long-term exposure has been determined to likely cause the development of asthma, a group of lawmakers said in a letter to Chair Alexander Hohn-Sarek, adding that it can also exacerbate cardiovascular illness. The letter, Senator Cory Booker and Senator Elizabeth Warren among its signers, argued that Black, Latino, and low-income households are more likely to be affected by these adverse reactions because they are either more likely to live near a waste incinerator or coal ash site or in a home with poor ventilation. Ventilation in apartments is a big deal. A lot of times, apartment layouts don't have windows near the kitchen. I've been to multiple apartments that don't have windows at the kitchen at all. If you don't have a kitchen window and you have a gas stove, get some fans, open up the window wherever it is closest, get some fans and just point them in the direction of the window. I don't know. That's the best thing I can think of. But maybe look into better solutions as well. Quote, agency staff plans to start gathering data and perspective from the public on potential hazards associated with gas stoves and propose solution to those hazards later this year. The commission said in a statement, commission staff also continues to work with voluntary standards organizations to examine gas stove emissions and address potential hazards. Some cities across the U.S. ban natural gas hookups in all new building construction to reduce greenhouse emissions. Berkeley in 2019, San Francisco in 20, New York City in 21. But as of last February, 20 states with GOP-controlled legislatures have passed so-called preemption laws that prohibit cities from banning natural gas because Republicans have your best interest in mind. So anyway, you can read the rest of this. Quote, a ban on gas cooking appliances will remove an affordable and preferred technology used in more than 40% of homes across the country. Industry spokesperson said in a statement, a ban on gas cooking would fail to address the overall concern of indoor air quality while cooking, blah, blah, blah. Industry spokesperson. So, in other words, ignore what this fucking bitch has to say. But anyway, you know, obviously, if the government just banned gas stoves and that was it, didn't do any tax credits if you get an electric stove, didn't do a buyback program, that would be horrible. The government, what they should do, buy back all gas stoves, 100% of them, from every dwelling in the country, and provide a free replacement that is a high-quality replacement. But the government won't do that. So what's going to happen? I'm not sure. But either way, I'm in favor of a ban on gas stoves. That's my opinion. Ban the shit out of that shit. Fuck them.